time to get into the world of science and tech, and rounding up the latest from that world, of course, is CTV science and technology expert Dan Riskin, back from his month off. It's good to see you, Dan.
Good to see you.
There he is. Okay, right there. And Dan, you know, we're gonna kick off with a burning question here. How many times should you flip a burger?
Yes, and who better to ask this question than mathematicians? Because nobody throws a backyard barbecue like a mathematician. There's a new paper out where they came up with the theoretical beef patty, and you know how many times you should flip it to cook it as quickly as possible. If you just leave it on the grill, the bottom is hot, the top is cold. It takes a long time. But if you flip it, it cooks more quickly. So how many times should you flip it? Well, according to theory, infinite number of times. You should flip it constantly, but that's not really going to work. And what they found was if you do that, you cook it about 30% faster, but you can almost get the same effect by flipping it 3 or 4 times. You get pretty close to the theoretical maximum right away. So the theoretical answer is flip the burger 3 or 4 times, and you should be cooking it as fast as possible.
I like to flip it, squish it, get some of the grease out, let it go, then flip it back over. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I like making the grid pattern, and you can do that with 3 flips.
Yeah, I like that
that's
too.
That's key
exactly.
to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys are better than me because the last time I made burgers, I ruined them. I squished them too soon, and we had to clean the meat through the graters, and my mom was like, this is appalling. We're not eating this. All right, so maybe they need to do like, wait how many minutes before you attempt the flip. That should be the next segment, Dan. Okay, and next up, Dan, scientists found a language that is spoken across the globe. Dan, what is that language, and care to share your answer in this language?
The answer is parentese. So when you talk to babies, you have a different way of talking than the way you talk to grown-ups. And it turns out a big study has looked around the world at thousands of parents in all different cultures, and we all do the same thing. This is really a universal human thing, speaking parentese. When we talk to babies, we do a sing-songy voice, so high and low, that thing, but also overall having a high-pitched voice. And it's thought that these attributes help the baby learn language and learn to pay attention to the way your lips are moving, so they watch that and see that there's a connection between the way your mouth is moving and the noises you're making so that they can learn language themselves. But it's universal.
That's fascinating. So in Mandarin, I'd be like, like
exactly. We all do it. We sound like idiots, but it just comes out.
I have to take your word for it, but yeah, that sounds about right, Jen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
this is apply this, you know?
Exactly. It's the global language, parentese. And finally, Dan, you know, here's a concept. Thanking your partner for cleaning the toilet can help keep your relationship out of the toilet.
Yes. So this is research that comes out of COVID. You know, a lot of couples live together, and sometimes one person feels like they're doing a lot more work than the other person, and they get kind of grumpy about it. And during COVID, about 2,000 couples were in this study, and they found that there was a real connection. If you're the one stuck doing more of the chores around the house, like cleaning the toilet and other things, you're going to be a little bit disgruntled with the relationship. There are 2 ways to solve this problem. One is to do half the work. But there's exactly. They keep rolling on the toilet cleaning.
It's just like, enough already.
People who have CP24 on mute are like, what are they talking about? There must be some kind of a toilet explosion in Mississauga right now. Anyway, there are 2 ways to solve the problem. One is, still rolling on the viz. One solution is that you can split the work 50-50. But the other solution that makes the grumpiness go away is if you really feel like you're doing more work, but the other person appreciates it and they're thanking you sincerely, that disgruntlement goes away. So if you're in a relationship where the other person's doing more work than you are, or if you're in a relationship, period. Do thank them. It's a good practice, and it really does help the relationship, and that's what the science shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Gratitude is the right attitude.
Goes a long way.
There. Yeah, totally. Okay, thanks so much, Dan Riskin, CTV science and tech expert. Really great to see you again. Really fun topic today. Take care. We'll chat soon.
We'll chat soon, Dan.
And as the cost of living continues to climb and bills continue to mount, more and more people are turning to prenups, prenuptial agreements, to help them from being saddled with someone else's debt.
Well, Kevin Kaspers, Senior Associate Lawyer at Schulman & Partners, LLP, joins us live this morning to talk more about this. Kevin, a lot of people sort of think prenup is a dirty word, hard to bring up potentially when you're about to get married and thinking you're going to spend the rest of your life together. But there is some really significant financial risk that as you enter into a marriage, and effectively you're talking about protecting yourself from that risk.
Exactly. There is a lot of negative connotations that surround prenuptial agreements or marriage contracts or cohabitation agreements, in the idea that it's preparing for some inevitable end to the relationship, but in fact, it can be very useful in protecting the parties from protracted separation, litigation, these kinds of things, by outlining how they intend to treat their assets, their debts, in the case that their relationship does end and they do end up separating.
And Kevin, I'm curious to know how you guys acquired this data to show that the trend is now getting a prenup to protect from debt rather than protect from wealth.
It's not a science. We are just noticing a trend in the types of clients and requests we get, where traditionally prenuptial agreements, marriage contracts were requested for purposes of protecting assets, for protecting property and these kinds of things, maybe gifted or inheritances. But in this case, we're starting to see requests to protect from debt, to protect from student debt or debt that's acquired during the relationship. So we're starting to see that kind of request and marriage contracts being used for both the purposes of protection of assets as well as protection from debt.
Kevin, it's interesting, you talk about full financial disclosure here. What happens, though, if you're in a relationship, whether it's cohabitation or a marriage, thinking about getting separated, and you aren't actually aware of your partner's actual full financial picture? Is it too late at that point?
It's never too late. And really, the base to any sort of marriage contract, separation agreement, is going to be full and financial disclosure. Listen, some couples in marriages, relationships, common law, they arrange their affairs a certain way where one partner may be responsible for taking care of the finances and the other partner is comfortable with that. At the time of separation, it's a very different circumstance, and both parties are entitled to be fully informed, fully aware of what the financial circumstances are, what the assets and debts of either party are, in order to make an informed decision. It's important for both parties to know what their obligations and rights are without a contract, so that they know what they want to include in a marriage contract and what they are potentially giving up or getting as a result of this contract.
Okay, very interesting stuff. Kevin Casper, Senior Associate Lawyer at Schulman & Partners, LLP. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Kevin.
That Taste of Vietnam returns to Nathan Phillips Square after a 2-year pandemic pause. Delicious dishes, culture, color, live music, fashion. It's a fun, family-friendly food festival. And here with more now is Kelly Lay, the president of Ao Zai Canada, and Kathy Tran. She's the owner of K-Sweets Tea and K-Glow Spa. Ladies, thank you both for being here.
Thank you
It's our
so
pleasure
much
to
for
have
having
you.
us.
Kelly, I want to start with you. Your outfit is bedazzling. I want to know how it relates to the festival and everything you're doing culturally and the mission behind Taste of Vietnam.
Yes, so the outfit that I'm wearing is called the Ao Zai Canada. This is our traditional Vietnamese costume, which is the Ao Zai. And we designed it so we merged the two countries that we love most, which is Vietnam, the Ao Zai, and the Canada, which we wear. So at the front, we have the leaf of Ao Zai Canada, as well as the back. The leaves are falling down, which represent the fall.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The fall leaves of the our Canada.
Right.
And especially as well as we're raising awareness against human trafficking. So on our sleeves, when people wear it, it has Stop Human Trafficking on it.
And that's really important here because, these festivals are all about party and celebration and food and culture, but having a social conscience too is very important to you in this festival, isn't it?
It is very important for each and every one of us, even the vendors, everyone who attend, everyone who's supporting us. They believe in our mission.
Right.
So it's not just the organizer ourselves, but everyone who's a helping hand with us.
Shining a bright light on human trafficking and child exploitation. Very important, and congratulations and kudos to you on that. All right, Kathy.
Thank you.
Now to the food.
Okay.
Where do we start? You have some amazing dishes here. This place smells glorious. I've been telling you, everybody's walking around here jealous of me. Let's start here.
Okay, so we have here is the spring roll. I think in here they have pork and then vegetarian. And we have actually different kind of sauce to go with it. The first one is just like plain fish sauce, and then the regular one is basically just the regular taste, my taste, and then this is the suicide. It's really, really hot.
Oh, I like really, really hot. So I'm going to try pork with the really, really hot.
Yeah, so you can actually try.
Taking a big chance here. Kathy, all right, tell us while I'm eating what else we got here.
Okay,
this is pork,
so,
right? All right.
So basically, this one is the grilled salted chili bread. So basically, it's actually bread and combined with different topping. So sauces, eggs, shredded chicken, and then different onions. And of course, you eat with vegetable around it, right? So the sauce go with it. You can actually have the tamarind sauce on the side, or either mayo or ketchup on the side too.
And that's one of the hallmarks of Vietnamese food, isn't it? It's fresh, it's local, it's in season, it's really healthy, and it's just it just dances in the mouth. I can tell you that's really good. Oh, it's delicious. Okay.
That's good.
Now I have a big sweet tooth. What do we got here?
So this is sweet tofu. So basically, it's tofu. It's also like, a very traditional dish in Vietnam. You can actually find all over, like, every single corner of street food, right? It's actually dessert, so it had little lightly ginger and also coconut milk. And of course, we're adding, pearl and agar jelly to bring out, like a spice taste in your mouth.
And beverage-wise?
Beverage-wise, it's just a milk tea. No, not milk tea, sorry. It's actually
it's bubble tea, right?
Yeah, bubble tea. But I believe that is it's called lotus inside.
Okay, now this is interesting. Here we have some fusion. Tell me a bit about this dish.
It is a waffle. I believe it's actually grill it, and then they actually put a cheese foam on top of it. The cheese foam actually have a lively texture of the egg cheese foam, so you can see that they torch it to bring out like a creme brulee.
Oh, I get it. So but it's so salty and sweet at the same time. And it's being called the croffle. It's a fusion between a croissant and a waffle. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. We have more beverage. Tell us about the coffee.
This is called the traditional drip coffee, Vietnamese coffee. That's how you actually using this cup to actually fill in the coffee inside, and then with hot water to drip it.
Coffee culture is huge in Vietnam, right?
Yeah, and of course you use it with condensed milk.
With condensed milk, which is delicious too. And finally?
Finally, it's actually the beef stew. You can see the beef stew soup and actually the Vietnamese baguette to go with it.
That is so good. Now, Kelly, I know there's vegetarian offerings too, right? I mean, everyone's satisfied here. Vegetarians, vegans, everyone. I want to know, like, how has the Vietnamese community here in Toronto, how has it grown and thrived over the decades? Because it's doing really well.
Well, honestly, I'm so proud of my community. I can't be proud enough, even through the Taste Vietnam. The Taste Vietnam Festival is truly a community festival. Why do I say that? Because everyone who you see here and you will see tomorrow are all people from all walks of life, every corner of the community. They're not a professional, they're not an event planner by trade. They're all walks of life. They come together. If they don't know how to do certain things, they learn it. And they have that passion of the Vietnamese, proud to showcase and to share our culture with the world. We're happy to invite all of our friends to join us. So even in our shows, our food, there are a mix of different cultures who are joining us in our performance as well.
Well, Vietnamese hospitality is legendary. That much I know. They've got fashion shows, art exhibitions, live music. There's kids entertainment. There's a parade. The best part, admission is free, right?
Yes.
You can't beat that. And this is year 2.
Yep.
Because you had one before the pandemic. Oh,
Best
look
part
who's
is
slid in here. Hungry Bill Coulter.
I love Vietnamese food, and this looks absolutely spectacular. And this is okay to do with finger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the pork, and
Yum.
there's many dips.
Okay.
Kelly,
Yes.
Kathy, thank you both so much. Appreciate it. Taste of Vietnam is happening tomorrow and Saturday.
Yes.
Nathan Phillips Square, it's
Kelly.
free.
Kathy.
Get down there,
Amazing.
have a feast, and enjoy the culture. Canada's largest South Asian festival returns to Mississauga's Celebration Square this weekend for the first time since 2019 with 2 full free days of family fun and a grown-up Bollywood monster mashup featuring all kinds of good stuff. Bhangra, Sufi, disco, drag, and some of Canada and India's hottest performers, including singer Akanksha Sharma, who joins me now live. Good morning to you.
Very good morning. How are you?
I'm great. So you're here in Canada now, right?
Yes.
You're in Mississauga. Good to know. Okay, look, this festival, man, there's some big star power. And as a performer and a fan, obviously, of the music and the culture yourself, it's got to be thrilling to be able to, press the flesh and entertain people live again after 2 years with all these lockdowns.
Absolutely. I am very, very, very excited to be back here. This is my second time I'll be performing for Bollywood Monster Mashup. And I had a great time when I performed here last time. And this time I'm all the more excited. Of course, as you said, it's going to be happening after a gap of 2 years. So I think everybody's excited, and so am I. Really looking forward to it.
Now, your star is shooting high, far, and wide. You were named Upcoming Female Vocalist of the Year a couple of years ago. You got over 1 billion views on YouTube, 5 million social media followers. I want to know, Akanksha, how important was the scale and the scope and the reach of digital media to help sustain your young career during these 2 years of COVID?
Well, it is very, very important. It's been important since I think forever, but especially during the pandemic, everybody was sitting home. There were no other way to actually reach out to your audience.
Right.
And having your own platform, having your own social media in your hand at your place, I think especially for me, I was able to reach out to my fan without stepping out of my house. It was just a random live doing thing, or maybe just shooting a song in my house, at my terrace itself.
Right.
So I think it kind of kept me going and motivated while I was not able to step out of my house, but still I was able to interact with my fans and talk to them. So that gave me a lot of confidence.
Well, they're going to be able to see you up close and personal here in Toronto. Tell me a bit about what you're going to be doing performance-wise here.
Well, there are a lot of things which I've prepared this time. I am very excited. There are a few new songs which has come in my kitty now. So I'm very excited to perform those songs for all the people out there. And also, I will be singing a couple of Rajasthani songs as well. And there are a few surprises I have prepared for all the audience around.
Good.
So yeah.
We don't want to give it all away. Your music is based in India. It spans the globe. But Toronto, Akanksha, has really become one of the, if not the most populated, powerful sort of satellites of Indian culture around the world. I don't think you can really underscore how exponentially it has grown here in Toronto over the decades. What's the feedback like for you coming here from the Canadian fans?
The feedback, well, see, last time when I was here, there were a lot of people, not just from India, not just from Pakistan, not just from Bangladesh. There were a lot of people from Canada itself in the audience. And despite of not understanding my language, they were still so supportive, so encouraging. And right now, while I step out of the hotel and, go for a walk, people are full of warmth. They always, greet me with a nice smile or a good morning. Yeah, I feel really happy about it.
Well, Akanksha Sharma, you are a great ambassador for Indian culture and music so that this next generation doesn't lose that connection, and just to entertain the rest of us and expose us and help us explore everything that is Indian. The Bollywood Monster Mashup is happening this weekend in Mississauga at the Celebration Square. Thank you for your time, and have a great performance and a great visit to Canada.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
TD International Jerk Fest returns to Etobicoke Centennial Park tonight through Sunday. It's a celebration of Caribbean cuisine and culture and music. And here with all the deets on the good eats, the heat, the meats, is TD Jerk Fest spokesperson Natalie White. Good morning to you. It's so great to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Look, before we get to the chow,
yes,
I'm just going to take your temperature. You must be burning to have this happen live in person again.
After a 2-year hiatus, oh, absolutely. It's been virtual the last 2 years, but I think now the summertime, everybody wants to be outside. So it's amazing just to be back and see faces and be face to face again.
Yeah, it's important, right? I mean, festival. Look, we all did our part. We all did our best to try and get through it and do the virtual thing. but there is no substitute, right?
There's nothing. There's nothing like that in-person interaction. No. Yeah.
And when it comes to the food, right? You can put out a menu and say you can try cooking it at home, but it's never going to be as good as Viv's Catering. And thanks to the folks at Viv's Catering for supplying this. Okay, I will no longer bury the lead, as they say in TV. Let's look at what you brought here, because this is an incredible little menu, this plate. Let's start with tropical kebabs. What goes into those?
So we have some meatballs right here with the tropical kebabs. They're dipped in a mango jerk sauce. Yes, it is.
Boy.
I'm telling you, you might want to try it.
So what else
amazing.
is on there? That's a meatball. And
you have the meatball, you have the plantain, you also have some festival.
Festival, which is like a fried bread kind of thing?
Exactly.
Right.
Like it's like the sister to the fried dumpling.
Amazing. Okay, so it is the Jerk Fest, so let's talk about jerk chicken.
Absolutely. So we also have some jerk chicken wings. We have barbecue jerk and regular jerk wings. So it depends on if you like it more saucy, if you like it more dry. It's all personal taste, but obviously very inclusive for everyone.
Right. I mean, jerk it's the universal thing, right?
Yes.
It can kind of be a part of almost any dish and every dish, right?
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of Caribbeans, they kind of put it in everything.
Right.
So it kind of gives it that extra source of flavor, that fun, the smell. It incorporates the Caribbean culture.
Right.
Yes.
And it's fresh and it's like in season. It's natural stuff, right?
Exactly.
It's not like processed out of a bag or a can.
Exactly.
Right?
Like on like natural seasonings and Scotch bonnet peppers, kind of everything just mixed into one.
Now, you mentioned the peppers. It doesn't all, like, some people are a little bit averse to the super heat. I love super hot food, but not everyone. So you have options for that, right?
Yes, oh, absolutely. I'm the person who doesn't like the super heat.
Okay.
So I'm with you on that.
Cool. All right, dumplings. I love dumplings. So tell me about these ones here.
So we also have the ackee and saltfish dumpling and callaloo stuffed dumpling. So ackee and saltfish is actually the national dish of Jamaica, which they just celebrated their 60th anniversary of independence.
Amazing.
Right? And then the callaloo is actually the sister to the spinach as well. Also a great vegetarian option for those who don't eat meat but still love the Caribbean culture and the food.
And speaking of jerk, and for if you're, vegan or vegetarian options, you got that covered too.
Absolutely. So like we said, the stuffed fried dumpling with the callaloo, we also have jerked cauliflower.
Very nice.
Which is, again, a great substitute to the jerk wings. It tastes just like it. So if you don't like your veggies, but, you want to try something new, that would be the go-to.
Now, just for people that may not know, ackee is what?
So, ackee is actually a fruit.
It's a fruit, right.
Yes. But, it's just how it's processed and how they put it through. Once you pick it, it's amazing.
And callaloo is a green, kind of spinach-like.
Exactly.
Right?
I always say it's the sister to the spinach.
Right.
Yeah, they're all within that same family.
Callaloo soup.
Yes.
Oh, man.
It
might be one of the greatest soups of all time.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to talk about it later because we've got Allison Hines, the Queen of Soca, coming on with us in about 25 minutes' time. But what an amazing lineup. I just got to mention, listen to who's performing at the festival. Conscience, Brian McKnight, Maxie Priest.
Yes.
I mean, right there, that's the price of admission.
Reggae icon.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
Now, what I also love about this festival is that you give back. It's always been a big part of, communities what holds it together. You give back through scholarships, and you also do a lot to help out food banks. Tell me a bit about that.
So what we're doing, we have an initiative where it's kind of like the customer appreciation time. So both Saturday and Sunday between the hours of 10 to 2, the adult tickets are lowered to $5. Children tickets are lowered to $2. But we also ask attendees to bring non-perishable food items. So the donations will go to African Food Basket, as well as Region Outreach Community, because it's all about giving back to the community and being with people and just coming together as one.
That's what it's about. Okay, I said real quick before we bring in Bill. Well, we'll bring him in now.
Coming together as one.
Bill's the sampler.
Coming in a sampling.
Natalie, Bill, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So what would if you had like pick the one food, the one island treat that you would eat, the street food, like snack food, what's the thing? What's yours?
Ooh, just one?
Yeah, just for now.
Okay, I'll pick off the plate and we'll go with the barbecue jerk wings.
Barbecue jerk wings?
That's my favorite.
I'm going callaloo because I love callaloo, everything callaloo soup.
Yeah.
Bill's going for the kebab.
I'm going for the kebab.
All right.
This looks great. And you didn't make me do whining and dipping. I learned that from They made me work for my food last time at Mass Camp.
I'll save you this year.
Okay, thank you.
We have a 2-year break.
We're trying. We're sampling.
Yes.
10 out of 10.
I love it.
Natalie,
Yes.
thank you. Jerk Fest is starting tonight in Etobicoke.